Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're filming with the new Fall Magic Remastered palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. So if you guys want to see swatches, hear my first impression thoughts, then just keep watching. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is KARENHARRIS. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. I do post quite often, so highly recommend subscribing, turning on that bell so you're notified every time I post, and without further blabbering, let's get into it. So if you guys have been following me for some time, you know how much I love the OG Fall Magic palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. This was the one that got away from me, oh my gosh, when it originally launched. I got the times messed up and it sold out, and I literally DM'd Amanda and I was like, I missed the palette. And bless her heart, they opened I think a pre-order, so I was able to snag this. This is easily one of my favorite color stories from Unearthly, so when I heard that they were coming out with the remastered version, you know I had to get my hands on it because I needed to know, is this as good as the OG palette? So here it is in all its glory. I did film swatches and close-ups for you guys, so I will pop those up as we talk about this palette, but I'm so excited to try this out for y'all, so I will just hold these two up side by side at the end of the video in case you've been wondering. But at first glance, I really didn't see any similarities. There are a few shades that have the same names, but they don't really look that close, so we'll do some comparisons at the end. But I am so excited to put this on my eyeballs. And this palette was gifted to me from Unearthly. I am an affiliate of the brand, so you can use my code KHMAKEUP on the Unearthly website anytime to save. And yeah, I'm so excited. So let's go ahead and play. I think I might do two looks because I have to do a green look with this palette. Are you kidding me? So I'm going to start off with some Unearthly brushes. I cleaned my brushes, so I have a bunch of clean ones from Unearthly. So we're going to start off with the A6, which is a nice fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to do the green look first, I think. So I'm going to start off with the shade Forage, which is a really pretty kind of chartreuse muted matte green. And I'm just going to tuck that all over the crease with this brush. So next I'm going to go into the shade called Snug. It's this really pretty dark purple shade. And I'm going to use that on the outer corner. I was going to use Earthy, but I want to try this first just to see. Okay, I really like how those two shades are looking. I'm going to adjust them a little bit in a second. First we're going to play with the metallics. So I thought I would use the shade Autumn all over the lid. And this shade Crisp is absolutely stunning. I'm so tempted to do like a monochromatic green, but I'm trying to get outside of my comfort zone. So we're going to use Autumn on the lid, and we'll see how things progress from there. So I'm going to use this flat brush from Unearthly. This is the UC8-9. And I'm just going to pick this up, and I've always had really good luck just spraying my brush and applying the shimmer. This one has like a sheer base, so I'm just going to use my finger. Holy moly, that is such a pretty shade. Just trying to build that up on the lid and really get into that inner corner. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into the brush that I picked up, that shade called Snug, and I'm just going to start building that purple up a little bit more on the outer corner. And then I'm going to take the shade called Earthy, which is the dark green, and I'm going to kind of plop that in between the chartreuse shade and the purple shade. And then I'm going to take a clean blending brush. This is the Sigma E27, and we're just going to take a little bit of the chartreusey shade and a little bit of the green. Okay, so that's kind of like the greeny purple eye look that I was envisioning. And now on this eye, I'm going to create a neutral look in case you are wondering if this palette can stretch into the neutral realm. So I'm going to take a blending brush. This is clean, and I'm going to go into the shade called Branch. It's a beautiful dark brown, and I'm going to place that on the edge and kind of pull it in at an angle. And I'm going to take a Refer brush, and I'm going to go into the shade called Spice, which is a pretty terracotta brown. And we're just going to roll that into the inner corner as well as the crease. And then we're slowly going to bring that towards the dark brown and mesh those two shades together. I'm going to fix up the outer corner after I apply my metallic shade. And for the lid, I'm going to use this shade called Change, which is like a really pretty pewtery taupey green shade, and I think it's gonna look very cool. So I'm just gonna use this same Unearthly brush, and let's see if I can get it to stick to the lid. I swear these eyeshadows are just so creamy that they just work so much better when I apply it with my finger. Oh my gosh, that color is so stunning. It's got a major shift of like eggplant in it. I was not expecting that at all. I could not see that shift in the pan when I just looked at it, but now the way the light is hitting my eye, I can see it. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of Branch to the outer corner and just kind of blending it just to make it look nice and seamless. So yeah, those are kind of my two eye looks with the palette. So I'm going to throw on something in the waterline so we can finish up these looks real quick. Okay friends, so here are the two finished looks that I created with the Unearthly Fall Magic Remastered palette. As always, let me know which one is your favorite. You can vote with a green heart emoji if you like this one, or a brown heart emoji if you like this one. I feel like this actually turned into like a unintentional purple look, which I'm not really mad about, but that shade had almost like a multi-chrome, at least a trio chrome to it. So when I see it in the mirror, I see a really beautiful purpley shade. Okay, my lips feel really dry, so I'm going to throw on the Fantasy Cosmetica lip oil in the shade Efret. Okay, I really needed that extra hydration. Now let me tell you really quick what else is on my face today. So for my foundation, I've been trying to use up the Natasha Denona Foundation X. I have just a little bit left, so I've been trying. I have this in the shade 70W9. I use the Natasha Denona concealer. This is in the shade NP10. My bronzer today is the Rare Beauty Always Sunny bronzer stick. And then for blush, I did a little mixing. So I used both of these Dior Backstage Rosy Glow blushes in Cherry and Coral. Coral is a little light on me, so I had to build it up, and then I topped it with a little bit of Cherry. And then to add some highlighter, I did use the duo from the Summer Mystery Box from Unearthly Cosmetics. And then my lip combo before I threw on the lip oil was the Unearthly lipstick in the shade Gnarly. This was also part of the Summer Mystery Boxes, I believe. And then their lip liner in the shade Fiery. This is one of my favorite lip liner shades in existence. It's the most beautiful like terracotta shade. So I love this so much. So that is everything I used to finish off this look. I will try and link as much as I can down below for you guys in case you're interested in shopping. Now let's go ahead and compare the new with the old. Let me go ahead and show you guys a little side by side quick. So packaging is very different. We have a longer palette with the new one. The original palette has 12 shades, and so does the new palette. So let me just show them to you side by side really quick. I feel like, honestly, just looking at them, I don't feel like they're that similar. But let's go ahead and swatch some shades and see. So the first shade is called Cocoa. And I don't really see an exact dupe for the shade Cocoa, so I'm going to pass on that. The next shade is the shade Change in the original palette, which there is a shade called Change in the new palette, which is the one on this eye. On my fingers, they do look very similar. I don't know if you guys will be able to tell, but I feel like the new shade does pack a little bit more punch. The formula just feels a little bit creamier and it just went on smoother. And it definitely has more of a shift to it than the original change shade. Okay, the next shade that has a corresponding shade in the new Fall Magic is the shade Spiced from the original palette, and the new shade is called Spice. So these are both terracotta browns. And so on top is the original shade and on bottom is the new shade. So let me know what you guys think. I feel like the tones are slightly different, but not that much. So in the old palette, the next shade is Cashmere. We don't have a shade for that. We do have a shade called Cozy in the new palette. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch those together. Cozy in the remastered version is a little bit more pink, and I think that is fine. I love that it has a little bit more pink to it. Okay, so the next shade in the original palette is called Autumn, and we do have a shade called Autumn in the remastered as well. These do look a little different. The original shade looks very orange, and the new shade looks more peach. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm so sorry if I sound so sniffly. My nose is running. I want to cough so bad. Okay, so the next shade is Earth. And in the new palette, we have a shade called Earthy. Again, Earth and Earthy, one shade looks a little bit more just saturated and just more of a warm tone. So there's Earth and then Earthy from the new palette. So in the original palette, we have a shade called Magic, and there is a shade called Magic in the new palette as well. Let me see here. I want to swatch these. So there is Magic and Magic. Very similar, but I feel like the new shade has more just shift to it. It looks very, very pigmented and metallic. Okay, so we have two shades called Snug in the swatches here. So this is the old Snug, new Snug. New Snug is a darker purple in my opinion. That's the one I used on the outer corner. Next we have the shade called Leaves. So this is the old Leaves and this is the new Leaves. As you can see, those two shades are completely different. The original Leaves is more of a teal shade and new Leaves is more of a green gold shade. And then the original palette has a shade called Bonfire, which they don't have a shade called Bonfire in the new palette. And then the last shade that is a shade from the original that's in the new one is called Branch. And that's the dark brown. So let's go ahead and swatch those next to each other. So here's Old Branch and here's New Branch. So to me, I'm definitely more of a person that's into metallic shadows. I'm a magpie. When I see something shiny, I want it. And so I can't make up my mind which one has the superior shimmers. The original Fall Magic has 5 metallics and the new one has 6 of them. And I will say Leaves to me is such a cool shade in the original, and I don't feel like the new shade lives up to that green pop, because when I first saw this palette my eye went straight to this shade, but overall just as far as the color story and the spirit of fall, I do think the new one does have just everything and more as far as living up to the original. So If you missed out on this one, I don't feel like you'll be disappointed if you buy the remastered version. If you have this one, you could probably skip out. But if you have this one, you're probably a Unearthly fan like I am, and you probably already ordered this one. So either which way, I think you could totally have both and be fine. Yes, a lot of the mattes are similar, but I do feel like the formula is even better in this new palette. I love the new format. I love the color story, so that's why I have both. I did buy this one, I believe, with my own money, and then the new one was sent to me because I'm an affiliate with the brand now. But yeah, that was so fun to swatch all those shades together next to each other. I felt really old school there for a second, but I hope this video was helpful. I feel like my conclusion was buy both. Do whatever makes you happy. I do feel like I need to offer a reminder though. These videos aren't so that you can like convince yourself to buy. I know there's a lot launching. It feels like all the time right now. Because I was going to say, I feel like it's a lot launching right now, but that's not even it. It's launching a lot all the time. And I feel like that's why the YouTube beauty community is so important, because you can watch my video, you can watch other people's videos, and then make up your mind and decide what you truly need for yourself. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you stuck with me to the end, you're the real MVP, and I totally appreciate your support. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye guys!